Okay, welcome back to another video. Today is going to be called, video is going to be titled Thy Will Be Done, because, my version, I've read no other version that says it, and that's how I remember it. This verse I'm going to be talking about, this is going to be like about God's will, what God wants instead of what you want happening. So, hopefully watch to the end, watch the full video, hopefully this helps you. So in Matthew chapter 6, okay, so when you pray, what do? You ask for something, you ask God for him to do something that you want, your plan, what you want to happen, and tell you God's plan is greater than what you want. That's what I'm gonna say. So in Matthew 6:10, this is Jesus teaching them how to pray. Teaching people how to pray. And it says, "Your kingdom come." In verse 10, it says, "I'll say 9 and 10. This then is how you should pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven." Tell you, God's will is greater. God's will is the way to do. Instead of praying, asking for what we want, we should ask what God wants. Tell you, what God wants is far greater than what you want. Okay, so let's go a little bit deeper. Matthew 26, 39, it says, this is Jesus praying right before he's about to die. It says, going a little farther, he fell with his face to the ground and prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me. Not as I will, but as you will." This is Jesus praying, not teaching, but praying himself. And this is what Jesus didn't want to die. But if Jesus didn't die, I wouldn't be here today. I tell you, Jesus didn't want to die. But instead of asking for what he wanted, he said, "Not as I will, but as you will." As he's asking that what God wants to be done. He said, "If it is possible, take this cup from me. Don't allow me to not have to die. If it is possible, I don't have to die." But that's what Jesus was asking. I wouldn't be here today if he didn't die. So instead of asking, hey, you might be like, "Hey, I don't want to do this." But Jesus, be like Jesus and say, "I will do this if it is your will. But if it's possible, can I not do this?" If it is possible, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so we go into Matthew 6:8. It says, this is right before the prayer. It says, "For your Father knows what you need before you ask him." That's what it says in the verse. And I tell you, God knows what you need. You know what you want. And what you want is not greater than what you need. God's plan is better. God's plan is greater. God knows what you need. God knows what you need. And what you need is far greater than what you want. What you want is gonna give you pleasure, but it's not gonna help you. Maybe it won't give you pleasure. Like what you need will give you pleasure, will help you. May not make you happy when you first get it, but in the future, it will make you happy. It will help you. Tell you, God's plan is far greater than yours. Your plan, your desire, your will leads to sin, but you know what God's plan leads to? God's plan leads to righteousness. Your desire leads to sin, as James 1. Let me find it. James 1:15 says, or the 1:14 and 15. So, but each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. And after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and that sin, when it's full grown, gives birth to death. I tell you, if you are dragged away by your desire, follow your desire, it's gonna lead to sin, and sin leads to death. what you want leads to death, but I tell you that God's plan, God will lead to life, leads to salvation. I tell you that if I followed my plan, did all that I wanted, I'd be in a bad situation right now. But instead of following my plan, if I've always followed God's plan, I'd be way farther than I am now. I tell you that. In Jeremiah 21:9-11 it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope in the future." This verse just tells you how great God's plans are. God's plan. Now let me tell you a story. So I was asking God what I wanted a little bit ago, like a week ago or so, and God knew that what I wanted was not going to turn out well. And then, even though I asked for it, and what I wanted happened, but God did the impossible and didn't allow it to happen. He didn't allow the bad results to come. And then I went back to what I wanted. Again. And instead of God not letting bad results happen, He went with it because my plan, He let me escape the bad results, but then I go back to it again, and God knew that. So I tell you that God's plan, He knew what God's plan was far greater than mine. I went with it. I followed my desire. Even though God gave me a chance, I didn't take it. I tell you, same way. God changed my life. So I tell you, what are you gonna follow now? This is in the video. So my next question is, what are you gonna follow now? Are you gonna keep on following your desire, following your plan, following what you want, or are you gonna go with God's plan? Instead of looking toward what you want, look forward to what God wants. You don't know what God wants, but you follow it. Follow God. God wants what is greater for you. You want what you want, but if what you want is not greater than you, what you want only pleases you now, is only a pleasure for now. But what God wants may seem hard now, but it will be a pleasure for an eternity in the future. I tell you, what you want is a pain in eternity in the future, but what God wants is a pleasure in eternity in the future. If you eat like all the worst food that tastes good, like bad, unhealthy food, all your life when you're younger, even though it may seem like a pleasure, it will be a long time of pain in the future. It would be better for you to not eat that food and eat healthier food. It'd be more of a pleasure to you. And yeah. So what are you gonna choose? Following your desire or God's desire? Following your plan or God's plan? Following what you want or what God wants? Following your will or God's will? That's the choice you have today. So thanks for watching, like and subscribe to end the video.